Good morning. We're here today, this morning, at the Ohio Republican Party to give you a little brief update on some of the latest developments in our efforts to get the Secretary of State to do her job. As you all know, last week, and specifically this issue is about the 200,000 mismatched voter registration forms that the Secretary has admitted to having in her office. As you know, last week there was a citizen-filed lawsuit in the Ohio Supreme Court to compel the Secretary of State to do what we had argued in the federal courts and had argued in the U.S. Supreme Court, and that is provide information to the county boards of elections about mismatched voter registration forms that she has inside her office. On Tuesday, we talked with the plaintiff in that lawsuit and convinced that plaintiff to withdraw the lawsuit in an effort to suspend litigation and pursue a conversation with the Secretary of State's office through the Attorney General out of court. I want to give you just a brief update on that. On Wednesday, our attorneys met with the attorneys representing the Secretary of State's office, although no one from the Secretary of State's office themselves with any sort of technical knowledge or information bothered to attend the meeting. During that meeting, our attorneys clearly laid out what we had expressed in our lawsuit, and we asked to work together to find common ground. Again, the issue being that ACORN and other groups have admitted to turning in tens of thousands of fraudulent and fake voter registration forms in the state of Ohio, that the Secretary of State has been compelled by 2 federal courts and 11 judges to provide information about those mismatched voter registration forms to the county boards of elections, and as of yet she has been unwilling and or unable to do that. So we clearly laid out our concerns and that had been expressed in the federal lawsuits, and asked that we work together towards a common ground. The only request that we ever made in those negotiations of the Secretary of State, candidly the only request we made of the Secretary during any of these lawsuits, is to do her job, and is to provide this mismatched voter registration information in a useful format and in a timely fashion. It is not simply enough to say you have 200,000 mismatched voter registration forms and I'm going to keep them a secret inside the Secretary of State's office. Instead, what we have asked is that it be provided in an electronic format, that it be provided in a timely fashion, and that it be provided broken down by county and broken down by precinct or ward level, so that it is of useful information to the elections administrators who are tasked with running the elections this year. We were asked during the meeting on Wednesday not to discuss what took place publicly, and simply said that we were making progress, that we thought the process was working, that we were headed towards some reconciliation on the matter. Unfortunately, the Attorney General's office went out and said that the meeting was nothing more than a courtesy, and then the Secretary of State's office spokesman quickly dismissed the meeting as well, saying that there was no settlement or serious discussion about looking for a resolution. The troubling part of this is the fact that Secretary Brunner has, at least on 2 different occasions, has asked everyone to stand back, take a deep breath, and try to settle these issues out of court. And we are making a good faith effort to try to do that. On at least 2 separate occasions, the Secretary of State and the Attorney General's office has held meetings with the campaigns and the parties to discuss what potential litigation might be out there, and encourage the campaigns and the parties to come forward and work together, not through the court process, but through conversations with the Secretary of State's office, all in an effort to avoid litigation. When we tried to do that in a good faith effort with the Attorney General's office and the Secretary of State's office on this important issue, on an issue that goes and cuts to the heart of the integrity of the vote and the honesty of the election in the state of Ohio, the Ohio Republican Party was rebuffed by the Secretary of State's office.